Travis Scott, one of the most well-known rap artists, co-founded AstroWorld with concert promoters Live Nation in 2018. The concert on the 5th of November this year was supposed to be the best night for many. Tragedy struck when mismanagement and negligence led to the loss of 10 lives and caused injuries and trauma to many others. To know all about how the artist handled the victims' families and more, stay tuned. First things first, what actually happened at AstroWorld? On the 5th of November, around 9:15 p.m. local time, a huge crowd surge began at the concert. The event, held at the city's NRG Park complex, drew approximately 50,000 people. Attendees claimed the concert was dangerous from the beginning, with clips revealing hundreds of people bursting through the gates and avoiding control points. According to the New York Times and the Los Angeles Times, there was insufficient security and healthcare personnel on hand for the event. The Houston Police Department has opened an investigation into these complaints in order to determine what caused the concert to turn violent. As people were injured as a result of the crowd, panic ensued, and the casualties quickly outnumbered the on-site first responders, according to authorities. Investigators are analyzing recordings from the incident to determine what caused the surge and what stopped people from fleeing. They're also beginning to conduct interviews with the victims and the people who saw the surge. The victims were in the range of 9 to 27 years old. According to police, the victims were crushed in a mad rush of fans close to the stage at around 9:30 p.m. local time. Scott decided to continue to perform for nearly 40 minutes longer, finally finishing the set 15 to 20 minutes earlier than scheduled. Houston Fire Chief Samuel Paya said last week that Scott should really have stopped the show sooner. At one point, an ambulance even tried making its way through the crowd. The artist has commanded the crowd, Mr. Paya stated on NBC's Today Show. Now let's talk about the victims. According to a family attorney, a 9-year-old boy who was placed in a comatose state following a crowd surge at the AstroWorld Festival in Houston, Texas, has passed away. Ever since the event took place, Ezra Blunt had been on the ventilator for life support in a hospital, resulting from severe injury to the brain and other organs. He is the youngest of 10 people in the crowd killed when the panic ensued during rapper Travis Scott's headline performance. Hundreds of others were injured when the crowd pressed in on the stage. Lawyers for more than 200 people who claimed to have been wounded in the crowd told reporters on Friday that they were submitting another 90 lawsuits against the festival's organizers. An attorney for Ezra Blunt's family confirmed the boy's death on Sunday. In a statement, civil rights attorney Ben Crump said, "Ezra's death is absolutely heartbreaking. This should not have been the outcome of taking their son to a concert." Tristan Blunt, Ezra's father, previously told local news outlet ABC 13 that he wasn't willing to lose his young child. He described his son as a big Scott admirer who was psyched about the performance of his favorite artist. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner expressed sadness over Ezra's death. So how did Travis Scott respond to the tragedy? As per a quote, the 30-year-old has requested victims to contact him, saying he desperately wishes to share his condolences and provide aid. In an Instagram post, he also explained that he was unaware of how serious the situation had already become during his performance. "Anytime I could make out anything that's going on, I just stop the show and help them get the help they need," he said. "I could just never imagine the severity of the situation." 10 of the victims have now passed away. The eldest was 27 years old. Blunt, who lived in Dallas, died 9 days later. Given the seriousness of his injuries, he had earlier been put in a medically induced coma. Daniel Petroselli, Scott's lawyer, wrote to the 9-year-old family a day after his memorial service on November 23rd, offering to pay for the service. Travis is devastated by the tragedy that occurred at the AstroWorld Festival and grieves for the families whose loved ones died or were injured, the letter read. Travis is committed to doing his part to help the families who have suffered and begin the long process of healing in the Houston community. Toward that end, Travis would like to pay for the funeral expenses for Mr. Blunt's son. Next, the victim's family and their reactions to his aid. According to their attorney, Bob Hilliard, the family immediately turned down the offer. "I have no doubt Mr. Scott feels remorse," he wrote to the rapper's spokesperson in a letter. "His journey ahead will be painful. He must face and hopefully see that he bears some of the responsibility for this tragedy." Others have interpreted the rapper's proposal as an effort to fix his public persona. The counsel for the families of 21-year-old friends Jacob Juranek and Franco Patino said the rapper's approach through teams of lawyers creates the impression that all he was wanting to do is reduce the huge backlash. If he's trying to press upon the families that he's sincere and has concern for them and realize that funerals can be expensive, what Scott's team did is not the way to do it, Corboy added. You don't get a piece of paper in the mail from a lawyer in Beverly Hills who says he represents Travis Scott. These families are all raw right now. That lacks any personal touch. Tony Busby, who represents Axel Acosta's family, doubted Scott's true motivations in releasing a statement through an extremely public statement for all to see. A litigator for 14-year-old John Hilgert's family described the motion as demeaning and inappropriate. He also was adamant that the fees of the funeral service were the least of the family's concerns, and the family wanted to make sure that this never happened again at any concert in the future. How is Travis Scott reacting to the lawsuits? As defendants begin to reply back to the dozens and dozens of pending lawsuits in the fallout of the AstroWorld Festival, Travis Scott has actually requested that numerous lawsuits in which he is named be rejected. This is the rapper's first reaction to the suit since they began to pile up following the disaster last month. According to another of Scott's representatives, he has denied all the allegations made against him in 11 different lawsuits, and he will most likely file many more motions to dismiss in the future. Scott, according to the representative, is not legally liable for the tragedy. Meanwhile, event safety organizers from 15 countries, including the United Kingdom and the United States, have formed a new organization to develop and promote global safety regulations. The Global Crowd Management Alliance, which debuted on Tuesday, was founded in response to the global pandemic. According to its deputy chair, Steve Adelman, recent events have demonstrated that crowd management continues to remain an important concern for all. Let's look at some other news about the concert. Hulu has removed an insensitive documentary about the AstroWorld disaster just hours after it debuted on the streaming platform. AstroWorld, Concert from Hell, caused an uproar over the timing of the special, considering how many people suffered lifelong trauma due to the event. The documentary was added to Hulu on Wednesday, December 1st, with little publicity or endorsement. Soon after, word of the tactlessly worded documentary spread across the internet. Travis Scott's AstroWorld Festival was supposed to be the concert of a lifetime, the Hulu synopsis read, but it turned into a tragic nightmare. A minute-by-minute look at what happened in the crowd, the young victims who were killed, and what happens next. However, a spokesperson for Hulu clarified in a statement that the 50-minute documentary was only an exploratory local news special. It was released on ABC 13, KTRK-TV in Houston, that originally aired on November 20th, just 2 weeks after the tragedy. The streaming service has since clarified that the short film wasn't a Hulu documentary and has since been removed to avoid confusion. Megan Thee Stallion has canceled a show in Houston, Texas, out of regard for the victims of Travis Scott's AstroWorld Festival. The music festival was scheduled for Friday, December 3rd at 713 Music Hall. Out of respect for the lives lost in Houston earlier this month, I have decided to cancel my show at 713 Music Hall on December 3rd, the artist said in a statement first given to the Houston Chronicle. Houston is still healing, and it's important that our community be given the appropriate time to grieve. My heart goes out to all the families that are suffering during this difficult time. The event was planned to celebrate the unveiling of 713 Music Hall, a new place in Megan Thee Stallion's hometown of Houston. It was also intended to commemorate the artist's new bachelor's diploma in health administration, which she'll receive on December 11th from Texas Southern University. The Houston Citizen has also previously performed at Travis Scott's festival in 2019. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you agree with Travis Scott's response to the incident? And what do you think he could have done better? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.